As you are aware, banks are using robo-signed forged documents to accomplish these foreclosures. The results to our communities have been devastating. Suicides, mental anguish, and general desperation have destroyed and continue to destroy the very fabric of our nations, families. On Monday, February the 20th, 2012, Charles Ford jumped to his death from the Coronado Bridge. Like others, Mr. Ford had worked hard for the federal government, but that was not enough to keep him from foreclosure. He saw himself as a complete failure and chose suicide. On New Year's Day 2011, San Diego County Sheriff's deputies responded to 8567 Clifford Heights Road in Santee. After receiving a 911 call from a man who gave his name and address and stated, "I am going to kill my cancer-stricken wife, burn my house down, and shoot anyone who approaches the residence, then kill myself." According to the caller, World Savings Bank had refused to renegotiate his loan and foreclosed December 2010. 3 bodies were found in the debris. The current financial crisis in the United States is being called the worst since the Great Depression. Many people say that the devastation across the country is mounting to the magnitude of the 9/11 attacks. My question to you, Mr. Dumanis, as Mayor of San Diego, what are your plans for dealing with this crisis?
I don't think that my plans are any different than what I've laid out. I can tell you that I understand and see and feel the problems on a regular basis. Our office, the DA's office, has done a lot in the area of foreclosure fraud. Early on, when the foreclosures began to hit, we found that people were being scammed, especially those that can't speak English as well and that come from different communities. So what we found, we had one case that had 400 victims that their homes went into foreclosure and that they were scammed. What we did was we realized that because the foreclosure notice is a public document, when it's filed, the crooks get it just as quickly as anybody else, and they go and they prey on people that are vulnerable. So we began early on to send out a brochure to each and every person who received a foreclosure notice so that they would be made aware that there are problems and what to look for. And we prosecuted those cases, and just recently we're in the process of prosecuting someone who is alleged to have used foreclosed homes to rent on Craigslist, and even though not owning it. So where there are people that are vulnerable, there are people that are ready and willing to take over. The Attorney General's office has also worked on some of the robocalling and the federal, the U.S. Attorney. We have jurisdiction over many of the same things, and we work together to make sure that we don't duplicate so that we get the biggest bang for our prosecution. So we're all working very strongly on those issues, and as the mayor, I certainly would continue to work with law enforcement on those issues. And I'd also bring banks together to try and work with banks to help those who can't help themselves in the foreclosure process, to see what we can do to support them. It's all part of what I see is really the people hurting. I see it in our job all the time, the people that are murdering others because of their desperation, as well as murdering, committing suicide, as well as doing other crimes because of that. We need to work on these issues together, and part of it is you in the Lions Club, all of us in the community, we've got to do our part as well, and you're doing your part, and we're trying to do our part, and together I think we can move San Diego forward so that everybody has a place at the table.